for joining us. Today, we pick back up on the case of Brad Jennings. Remember, he's suing Sergeant Dan Nash for federal civil rights violations. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lauren Barnes. The trial continues into day 4, but the crimes in question have been unfolding for 14 years. Here's the basis here. Jennings served 10 years in prison for the murder of his wife, Lisa, before a judge vacated that conviction in 2018. Our own Bailey Stroll has been following this case all week and just stepped outside of the courtroom to deliver a live update. Bailey.
Yeah, so far today in day 4 of this trial, the plaintiffs have called 2 witnesses to the stand. The first being a teacher of Lisa and Brad Jennings' son the year that Lisa died, and the second being a Missouri State Highway Patrol criminologist, the one that actually conducted those gunshot residue tests on Brad Jennings' robe. Now, the teacher testified that there were some inconsistencies and false statements put into a report by Sergeant Nash after he interviewed her at the school. At one point, she said she's not surprised that there had been other complaints about Nash omitting facts in reports, claiming it had happened to her too. And on the stand now is Nick Gerhardt, who conducted the gunshot residue test that came back negative for Jennings. A phone call was played in the courtroom where Gerhardt told Jennings' private investigator at the time that Nash had 3 tries to get these test results, once by mail, another by fax, and another by phone. But sitting in the courtroom today, Gerhardt said he couldn't be sure that those statements, when they were made on the phone with the private investigator, were completely true. Now, I believe that the state was also expected to call Gerhardt as a witness throughout this trial, so it's expected that Gerhardt, this criminologist with the Highway Patrol, will be on the stand for a while longer today. As always, you can keep following what's happened so far in this trial and what will be going on today at ozarksfirst.com. Reporting in Springfield, Bailey Stroll, Ozarks First.
All right, thank you, Bailey, for that detailed report. New at midday, the 2 victims of a deadly crash in Aurora Wednesday have now been identified. Here's the scene of Highway 60, where the Aurora Police Department has identified the drivers as 92-year-old Richard Gulliford of Monette and 22-year-old Samuel McChesney of Crane. Police say Gulliford was going west and hit a guardrail, then re-entered traffic in the eastbound lane, hitting McChesney's vehicle. Both drivers were pronounced dead there at the scene. Purdy city leaders are pitching ideas on how to make their town's train crossings safer. This is after a woman was killed Wednesday when her car was hit by a train. Her 2 grandkids in the car were seriously injured and are still in the hospital. The Highway Patrol says the woman failed to yield at the train crossing, but the Purdy fire chief says this kind of accident has happened before. City leaders say they've spent years working to get guardrails put up at that crossing and are still waiting. Right now, the only safety precautions are the crossbuck sign as well as a pedestrian bell.
This isn't just the second accident that's happened here. We've had 3 accidents at this Washington intersection in less than 2 years, and 4 accidents overall involving a train in just a few, intersections here real close.
Fire Chief Nick Mercer says out of those 3 accidents in the last couple of years, this is the first time someone has died. Bringing crime into focus, a Springfield woman facing 2 felony charges in the death of McKenna Hahn is scheduled back in court today. 23-year-old Olivia Vega is expected to be arraigned in circuit court. Earlier this month, she pleaded not guilty to the charges of tampering with physical evidence. During that same hearing, her bond was reduced from $100,000 to $10,000. Deputies say Vega allegedly helped burn bloody clothes from the crime scene and hid the knife used to stab Hahn. Remember, Hahn was reported missing on December 22nd, 2019. Her body then found in North Springfield on December 30th. Lonnie Williams faces a first-degree murder charge in this case and is due back in court March 9th for a preliminary hearing. A traffic alert now. A portion of Division Street will be closed all weekend for you. Division between Jefferson and Clay Avenue will shut down starting at 7 tonight. The road will not be reopened until 6 o'clock Monday morning. City Utilities will be installing a new water main across the road. You can detour, though, along Boonville, Chestnut Expressway, as well as Sherman Avenue. Onto a story that is positively Ozarks. Attending prom is considered a rite of passage to some, but for families who can't afford it, that Cinderella Experience, Shine Inc. is stepping in to help. Director Amy Gurla says it all started 8 years ago. For the first few years, the group opened up shop at churches and local businesses one Saturday during prom season. Gurla says last year was the first time the nonprofit was able to have a permanent location and says it's become an area-wide effort.
I've never heard a no. Everybody has wanted to help. I just had a dry cleaner offer free dry cleaning, and he just took 40 dresses that I have sitting at his dry cleaning company. He's ready to dry clean 40 dresses. It's been amazing, and people have contacted me.
The group also helps male students with prom attire. Students just need a voucher from their school counselor and need to pick out the dress at the permanent location, which is in Ash Grove. Shine Inc. opens tomorrow to kick off this year's prom season and will be open every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. until May 2nd.